Omer Meyer's U20 Team Israel run in the EuroBasket event has come to an end. Israel loses in the quarterfinals to Italy, 89 to 80. I must say, this is a little disappointing because had Israel won this game, we would have advanced to a semifinal where he would have gone toe to toe with Indiana bound Alexa Ristich, who has also, we haven't covered it much on the channel. Maybe we should be. Alexa's been awesome. He has like a 3-to-1 assist to turnover rate and honestly feels like a forgotten member of this Indiana roster who might factor in. So would have had a little Purdue Indiana head to head with a date in the championship of the U20 Eurobasket event online, but instead, this was a heartbreaker for Omer and Team Israel. This was not Omer's best game, and in the end, this is one that I think Israeli basketball fans are going to remember for a while. They had a 19-point lead midway through the second half here. And this was very early on Thursday morning. So I will be honest, I'm sort of just summarizing the game summary here and a couple highlights that I was able to find on social media. I haven't had time to go back and watch the full game. But in the end, Omer finished with 18 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. He was 5 for 18 from the floor, and he ended the game just 1 of 10 from 3-point range. I believe I saw a report somewhere that Omer did not score from the field in the second half. He went 0 for 8 in the second half on shot attempts as Israel blew a 19-point lead to Italy. That is obviously as ugly as it comes. I do know this with about 2.5 minutes left. This was a tie game, one possession game, and Omer had chances in the clutch to seal the deal and or win the game, keep it competitive. He just missed everything. He could not buy a jumper in the second half. And I think as we have covered throughout this 2-week run, 3-week run, going back to the U19 event, Omer's game with Team Israel has been entirely jump shot dependent. And when the jumpers go in, he seems unstoppable. When the jumpers don't go in, he's quite stoppable. And in the end, that's what stopped Team Israel's run in a loss to Italy. What are your thoughts on all of this? I don't think you've been on the channel to talk Omer much with us, maybe once or twice in the past, but go wherever you'd like with this, whether it's the quarterfinal performance or overall takeaways on him as he now heads to Purdue shortly.
Yeah, to give my overview of my thoughts, he was someone who I watched during the FIBA U19 World Cup. Like that was the first time I had seen him in actual game action aside from just highlights. And I was blown away by him. I thought his skill set would translate immediately to Purdue, to a team that has been at the top of the country in offensive efficiency really over the past half decade, maybe even longer. You know, Paint has established himself as one of the best and most consistent coaches in the country with a brilliant offensive mind. And to me, just looking at a player of his caliber being paired next to Braden Smith, it seemed like, oh, this is really going to elevate the Boilers to the next maker. The Boilermakers to the next level on that end of the floor. And that's why I'm a little bit disappointed to see how this ended because, I saw some of the clips earlier this morning, which shout out to the Boiler faithful. They were out clipping this game at like 6 a.m. Eastern. Gotta love the grind, and I respect it. And you can see by the score, it's Omer toying with defenses. He's making the Italian team look like they can't keep up with them. His passing reads, the touch he puts on them, the precision, all of that is pretty special, and it's rare for someone his age to be that polished already of a passer. And you're seeing the score at the bottom. Israel's up by 9, 10 points most of this game, and then to see, we were on air recording when we got the notification that they blew this, and it kind of took me back. And just seeing a stat line like that, this is sort of unforeseen territory for the Omer Meyer fan club. For anybody who watched him in the U19 World Cup, we just didn't see him endure shooting nights like this. And it's a reminder of like the shooting variance and the volatility when you factor in his youth. On the other side of things, looking at Israel's roster though, it's a lot of who that guy for us. Who is this distinguished gentleman? But that's because you and I don't follow like the Israeli domestic leagues all that closely. Still put up
Speak
some
for yourself, Riley Davis. I'm an Israeli basketball expert now.
Some of his guys like Shachar Doran put up some good numbers, 13 points a game this tournament. Elam McKaylee was dominating. He's their big four-man, 18 and 7 and shot 55% from three in this tournament. Shout out to Alon. But I don't think there was much shot creation out of Meyer, and that's where I look at the prognostication of how does this affect Purdue. He's going to get to play off of Braden. And I hope and I trust Painter will figure out how to make use of his secondary playmaking, but I think it's okay if all he is pretty much a passer and a three-point shooter in year one at Purdue.
Yeah, totally agree. All right, I want to warn our Purdue audience here. In about 2 minutes, I'm going to flip to a semi-significant red flag for Omer with me right now. It's the first time I've hinted at like, maybe this is an issue. In about 2 minutes, I'm going to give you a big reveal of something I'm actually pretty concerned about at the end of this run. For now, though, I'm going to calm everyone and give you reasons why you should ignore the big red flag I'm about to raise. Number one, round of applause, Omer. You were extremely productive in both of these events. It's been fun watching you. It was clear you were one of the best players at the U19 event. It was clear you were one of the best players at the U20 event. I wish we could see you against Ristich, the Indiana commit, but like all in all, dude, you were awesome. This was really fun to watch. You showed what you can do. Now let's go home. Let's go home. Let's see you in Mackey. Quick, right now. Zach Edey's there. Maybe you can get his autograph if we get you there. I would like you in the gym learning your role with Purdue. So would Purdue fans. So would Matt Painter. So would everyone involved. I said it before the U20 event. As far as your basketball future goes, no disrespect to playing for your home country. I know that's super meaningful, probably more meaningful than anything you'll do in your basketball career. I'm not saying you shouldn't have gone here, but nothing about this week prepared you for what you're going to do at Purdue. None of it. Like getting 18 shot attempts up and going 5 for 18 does not help you. You don't need to do that at Purdue. You probably never will need to do that at Purdue. So, and if you, by the way, if you're good at Purdue, you'll be in the NBA, right? If we're really talking about like how do your professional future goes, there's nothing I don't think you're going to do in the U20 EuroBasket on Team Israel that gets you to the NBA. It's going to be what you look like at Purdue that can help you get there. So get there. That's where I'm at. I know everyone wants him there. I hope there's no U21 event coming up. I don't know how that works. I don't know where they draw the line, but please just get there. Please get there. And I know it's not all up to him. There might be visa stuff going on too. I don't know. Just get there, please, for the love of God. Now to the red flag here. So I've been allowed Omer advocate. I think that's clear based on what we've done on the channel. I just am a fan of him. I think he's going to be good. I always compare him to Kasparis Yakashonis. Now, this is a lift the curtain moment, and I don't mean to put anyone on the spot here, but people know I'm a Michigan fan. I'm in the Hoops forums. I think that's a pretty good basketball community. A lot of logical Big Ten discussion is being had in there. Today's video is sponsored by LabCorp On Demand. Car, do you take care of yourself?
I try my best to, yeah.
Like not just treat yourself to expensive meals, but like you go to the doctor and things like that?
No, I just take care of myself. There's no need to go to the doctor unless I'm not taking care of myself, right?
Are you afraid of the doctor, Cart?
Just a little bit. I mean, if nothing's wrong, why would I go there?
Listen, I'm the same way, and so are millions of men across America. But that's why LabCorp On Demand is helping millions of people like us. With their men's health test, you can get a comprehensive look at your hormone levels, your total testosterone, and you don't even have to go to the doctor. It's easy, and you get the results the next day.
Testosterone, is that a big thing?
It's a really important thing, Cart. Sometimes you can feel off without even knowing something's wrong. But LabCorp On Demand wants to keep you healthy and wants to make it as easy as possible. Right now, you can get 20% off your men's health test by visiting our sponsor at tryelco.com/sleepersmedia. It's simple, affordable, and honestly, it's empowering to know that you're healthy and have this info about your body.
Didn't know that testosterone did all those things. I'm gonna have to take the guesswork out of this and go get my health checked out today using LabCorp On Demand.
I have developed the reputation in those forums as the Omer Mayer stan. I will be the guy anytime he has a good performance, I send it and I'm like, look at this dude. He's a problem. We should all be terrified. Prepare yourselves. And usually there are multiple people in the Hoops world that push back and are just like, yeah, this was good. Chill. He's not a lottery pick. Slow down. We'll see. Is he even going to start at Purdue? Things of that nature. I have always been, yes, he is. He's a freak. They're going to be awesome. They just got another stud. So I sent his semifinal numbers, or the game before the quarterfinal, whatever that would be, the round of 16 numbers. He had an incredible game. And I sent the numbers on it to that forum. And Dylan, who runs the forum, Dylan Burkhart, Hoops, great basketball mind, one of the smartest guys that I love going back and forth with here, said this game isn't on Synergy yet, but the scout still feels the same as it did in U19. It's all jumpers. It doesn't mean he's not good, but it's a noticeable trend. I responded to that and said this. It reminds me of Kasparas Yakashonis. That's always been my comp. I said there's a lot of the same here where he only shoots tough jumpers, but they keep going in. And at a certain point, you just got to expect that they're going to go in. Dylan responded with the red flag for me, which has now lifted my eyes and terrifies me. Here's some numbers on this. In the U19 event, so take everything from U20 out of this, probably the same, but in the U19 event alone, Omer Mayer was 0.5 for 1.8 on attempts at the rim per game. He shot 29% at the rim and shot less than 2 shots a game in U19 at the rim. And for comparison's sake, this was Dylan responding to me comparing Omer to Kasparas. Kasparas Yakashonis in the FIBA event a year before was 58% at the rim, shooting 6 shots a game at the rim. So Kasparas Yakashonis, a guy that I think Purdue fans would acknowledge if you watched him, rarely ever felt like he got to the rim in college. I mean, his whole game was dependent on these step backs, right? He got to the rim 3 times more than Omer Mayer and made 3 times more shots than Omer Mayer has in these European events. That is terrifying. And look, he doesn't need to be Kasparas. I get it. Back to the idea of his role at Purdue. He needs to just stand there and make 40% from 3. If he does that, at least in year 1, it doesn't matter. And then he's got year 2 to develop into that point guard we all hope he can be because the passing chops are really good. But the bottom line is this. In these 2 events with Omer being awesome, he has not at all been able to create easy buckets for himself. Everything he does for his own scoring has been tough. And that's why he needs to get to Purdue sooner rather than later, because working on shooting 18 tough step-back jumpers a game is only hurting him in terms of preparing for what he's going to do at Purdue. And it is a major, major red flag on what he can be. Like, if he doesn't get to the rim in college, he can't be one of the best guards in the country in college in a post-Braden Smith world. Hopefully he develops that, but this is the first moment where I've been like, whoa. That scares me with Omer. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think you're justified in all of this. I'm trying to envision how much better does when I list this out, it might sound kind of stupid because I part of me is like, how much better will Purdue's offense be if Mayer is more than just a 3-point shooter? Because it's like, of course, you want a more versatile backcourt weapon next to Braden. But I just wonder if between Braden, TKR, and Clough, if you already have 3 guys who are going to kind of need to get theirs, Braden and TKR will. I think Clough was probably the most offensively gifted big in the portal. He was the best low post scorer to where I think he's going to get his post touches. And I think Painter will be happy to run some offense through him in spurts. That's where I don't know how much it really matters for Omer, even though, yeah, in theory, having a guard who's more dynamic than just a step back guy would be really beneficial. And even looking at some of their numbers last year, like Trey Kaufman-Renn attempted six field goal attempts at the rim per game, which is in the 99th percentile a year ago. So you're going to have that rim pressure from him. He's back. He's going to be very efficient at the basket. You're going to get to lean on that. Although I will say, aside from him, no one averaged 2 attempts at the rim, aside from TKR.
Well, that's
Braden was a.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm just realizing now, if there is a critique of the way Braden Smith plays, it's that he takes a bunch of tough ones. I mean, I think it became extremely clear by the end of last year that the offensive form, it wasn't offense that hurt Purdue, But the formula of Braden take a bunch of tough fall away twos when he's tired in crunch time was not a good one. Mixed with the defensive issues that team had, that was not going to be a championship formula.
Hmm.
So if Omer Meyer is, and maybe he's not, maybe he's just going to be a bench guy, backup point guard this year. I don't know. I think he's the starting shooting guard. But if he comes to play starting shooting guard at Purdue, if they are going to let him have the ball more, and if he's taking the same shots he took in this event, your backcourt is now two guys who just take a bunch of tough, inefficient, tough shots.
Right, right.
So even if they make them, like, can you win a title off of that?
It's a great question, G. I'm looking at some of the numbers now. This is the most I think I've ever gotten to the analytics when it comes down to Purdue basketball in a video here. Going back to 2022, the Boilers were the second best offense in the country that year per KenPom, and they had three guys who were in the 80s in percentile and field goal attempts at the rim per game, and Jaden Ivey, Travion Williams, Zach Edey. Like if that's the format where you want to go, I think that does illustrate. Now, last year Purdue was still a top 10 offense. Like they can still have TKR being the only guy who's giving you consistent production at the rim. And I'm going to go ahead and say Clough is in that mold as well. And they could still be a top 5 offense. They could still maybe be the best offense in the country without that. But even just looking at like how prolific Jaden Ivey was his sophomore year at Purdue and the dimension that added to them, just having that guard who could pressure the basket. Yeah, I think it's worth discussing how much better will this team look if one of those guys, whether it's Braden or whether it's Omer, can improve in that area and take fewer tough shots.
Yeah, 100%. And like, again, I go back to Kasparis because that's the easiest comp for me based on the level of stuff he's doing the summer before he comes to the Big Ten. Kasparis drove me crazy because it felt like he couldn't get anywhere but his tough ones. And when he made them, they won games. But that was a team that was all built around Kasparis. So again, it's not going to matter all that much in year one. But if we're envisioning a world where it's Omer Meyer's team in year two,
Yeah.
it will matter unless he really changes his game from what we've seen. Now he can. I'm sure Purdue will help him. Matt Painter will only help him, but maybe it's a red flag on his potential individual future at this point. We'll see. But all in all, I mean, I would imagine that's got to be how this game played out, right? They're up 19. How do you lose a game you're up 19 in the second half on? Your star shoots 0 for 8 on step back jumpers. Like that's get to the rim, get to the free throw line, do something.
Yep.
He probably couldn't, and that's the story here. So, all right, well, we'll see. Congrats to Omer on a very good run again, despite all of these concerns that we're raising, and we'll continue to cover him. Hopefully, he gets to Purdue soon. This video is brought to you by NBA 2K Labs or maybe college football labs because the people behind 2K Labs have just built something awesome. CFBLabs.com has everything you need to play college football 26 even better. Cart, you've been playing the game, right?
I have been, but I'm behind the 8 ball, Gregory. There's a lot of people out there who got a little bit of edge on me, but the good folks over at 2K Labs got me covered. They got the playbooks I need, the plays, the head-to-head coaches, knowing some teams. Obviously, way too many college football teams. I need the inside edge here, and they got all different types of things to help me get that edge.
Yeah, I jumped in and started playing Road to Glory over the weekend, and I ended up like a 2-star recruit that did not get one snap in season one because I chose the wrong school with the wrong roster that was way too loaded. Had I known that CFBLabs.com exists, I would have made a much more wise decision in my Road to Glory mode. They've got teams, playbooks, coaches, team comparison tools. You can literally see every single play in the game, every player in the game, their rating, what they're good at, all in one consolidated place online to help you make the right choices and win more games in college football 26. CFBLabs.com. Go check it out.